What's going on, guys? Everyone was about to hear back with another best episode top 10 for y'all today. And for today's video, I'm now going to talk about my favorite episodes from the new era of Survivor. Again, Survivor that obviously is kind of got a lot of criticism, and some areas rightfully so. But let's look at some highlights that came out of this era of Survivor, and we definitely still got some all-time great episodes from this era. And we're going to talk about what I mean are those episodes of Survivor. Again, 150. I'm also like 150. I stopped there, and honestly, I also going to eventually plan on doing an episode again. Again, I'm not sure if it's like before, after 50, because I'm filming this obviously. But anyway, I still hope you enjoyed some winding up the best episodes on 41, 49. And I would love to know your favorites down below in the comment section. Again, this is going to me if I should do like an all-time best episode list. Obviously, after this is the last one I'll be doing before we get to that actual list. And eventually, I'll do a worst one as well. So, hope you enjoy. Let me know your favorites down below. Let's get to the video. Coming in at number 10. I'll say this list actually was a little harder than I expected, actually, in terms of list of what's going to happen and everything, and what was going to have certain episodes be. Actually, it's a little harder than I expected, actually. But at number 10, we got Masterclass at Deception, which is episode 5 of Y4EF. Episode I'm surprised even is at number 10, actually. In fact, that episode's going to be a little bit higher on the list. That just shows how good the episodes are here, honestly. But again, after this Survivor, obviously being a season that's not exactly, great in the fortune grand scheme of Survivor. I mean, I don't hate it as much as everyone else seems to. But I can agree that it's definitely not exactly a great season. It's definitely on the low end of new era seasons, for sure. Again, I still wouldn't consider it bad, honestly. But it does have a really good pre-merge by, cast just against screwed over. But, but episode 4 was pretty good as well, and episode 5 is still the best one, honestly. But of course, there's been an episode where basically we have that iconic Joe and Eva moment. Eva basically, it's like so finicky like during the challenge and all that stuff, and so basically she ends up winning it, but ends up having basically a bad autistic episode. And then Joe basically ends up calming her down, and then Eva basically missed her autism, and it leads to one almost where Jeff actually literally cries. Like, you can really see him, like, actually tearing up. Like, he definitely kind of cried before, but he was actually literal tears. And generally, this moment in general is a fantastic moment. It's definitely one of my favorite moments of the new era, because I'm someone who's also autistic myself. It definitely resonated with me a lot. And come on now, honestly, we also get a pretty fun blindside, it's kind of funny that Cedric voted out Justin because, talking about his lost vote. And yet, when Bianca actually decided to do that, actually decided to tell Cedric about that she lost the vote, he ends up voting her out. Yeah. Again, that's why this episode's on number 10, but just to show how good episodes are on this list. And now, coming in at number 9, and that episode probably didn't make as high as it thought would be, but that's Caterpillar to a Butterfly. This is the only episode of Survivor 42 to make this list. Again, this definitely was a good episode that appeared in 42 a couple of years after seeing y'all mentions. But this is definitely a battle lesson. Of course, this based on being like, the whole Marianne actually successfully using her double pot the first time for this point, or double actually ended up mattering. But basically, he and Marianne basically rose to get rid of Omar, who basically was like the biggest threat of the season, was probably going to be like one of the biggest threats going on, honestly, and of course, we get a lot of the craziness and the back and forth that goes into that move, and Jonathan be Jonathan, Lindsay be Lindsay, and all these guys being just who they are, and well, that's good or bad, depending on who talking to you, but it makes for entertaining moments and just fun aspects throughout the season. For him, and when it leads to that iconic blindside, which the reactions for everybody is moments like, you did? I did. Makes for a just all around entertaining episode. And now at number 8, we actually get the first Survivor 47 episode to make the list. And this is probably my personal favorite of the new era seasons. And the first one we're really going to talk about is Field of FOMO, which is the Murgatory episode, probably by a landslide in the probably the best. One not telling the best, but definitely one of the better Murgatory episodes that we have gotten, which for those episodes are not the greatest, obviously, but this is definitely one of the better ones for sure. And it's all thanks to Rome. I mean, honestly, say what you will about Rome, and there definitely is a lot to say about Rome, especially after this season. But even not, he made the pretty much insanely entertaining, obviously. Honestly, with the fact that it was just so chaotic, so insane, and has so he was gonna be like the biggest meme piece ever, and he flunked on a challenge so hard. And this episode basically was just a Rome show, obviously. Again, how you feel about episode really will depend on how you feel about Rome, obviously. I mean, hell, they let have like sit on the Jeff drama, which is getting pretty hilarious. Honestly, I think people took that way too seriously though, but it was still very hilarious. But it's kind of obvious that Roman's going out for a majority of the episode, but that's actually what made it entertaining. Even the editors knew that Roman was probably an obvious boot. You get some funny voting confession, especially with Andy basically saying that in a different language. I don't know languages down honestly, but it's still pretty hilarious. So yeah, and we get to the fun character moments around some nice setups for where we get future episodes. And now we get number seven, who I think is probably the best mandatory episode we have gotten, and that is I'm Not Batman, I'm the Canadian. Episode 6, Let's Fly 45. Again, the first of probably two, five episodes to make this list, obviously, which again, despite enough out all the quiz, honestly, is one of the better era seasons, definitely one of the best era seasons. Even if it's not like a top tier era season. But overall, we do get a lot of great moments from this episode where we get a lot of chaos that happened from previous rounds and of course, it leads to basically the first successful truce to Sean the Dark, where you could say that Jamie was probably the first one, but I mean, genuinely, honestly, but yeah, actually ended up playing the first truce that's with Sean the Dark. I think that alone and the reaction of everybody, we actually getting the most votes with 11, and then Jamie ends up getting the grid afterwards. Along with all the chaos that went for that, obviously. Then for that, honestly, with saying relationships and stuff that's going to happen for characters later on, for players, obviously, later on for the season as well. It's just entertaining to wrestle. Again, and that whole China player definitely alone puts stuff so at whereas at number 7. And now we get to another 47 episode at number 6, which is Nightmare Fuel, which is episode 9. This is basically being one of the Saul Bird episode, which yeah, of course it's heartbreaking to see Saul go like this, obviously, because Saul was one of the more likable people to be on Survivor, and Jonathan for no reason, because he's a genuinely likable person. I genuinely that Saul is a likable. I'm not being excited during the season as well because one of my friends actually knows Saul, but he definitely was likable and great, even though he didn't actually put the best game on the season. But it was still generally entertaining from beginning to end. It's one of those episodes we really don't know what's going to happen. Actually, even going to nothing, the Saul actually was going home, and all the crazy back that went beyond that, and the people, the journeys, and all the craziness, and somehow he Saul got out unanimously. Even Genevieve obviously was kind of the perpetrator vote against her, and that kind of led her basically being a big career going forward. Obviously, until she kind of eventually got voted out of Final Five. Yeah, just endlessly irritating and very unpredictable. And now we reach the top 5, and these top 5 are just elite episodes, in my opinion. Well, at number 5, I got This Is Where the Legends Are Made, the premiere episode of 46. Again, I actually do plan on making my own video on 46, actually, so I might not get too much into my thoughts on the episodes of 46 when pop out, since spoiler not the only one on this list. But this is generally a fantastic premiere episode, which in my opinion the best premiere episode of the new era by a landslide. Not to say that any episodes were bad, obviously, but it pretty much doesn't really end up mattering too much, honestly, from most of the season. But yeah. This is generally a fantastic premiere episode that's insanely entertaining, mostly because of Jelensky, several means 7, and this, and saying just ridiculous stuff throughout the season, and that basically sinking his own game the more it goes along. It is just entertaining. While also setting up, the traps here, the trap that driving, Kenzie and Q and Tiffany and Banu, Jess, and even a lot of things like, the relationship between Joey and Maria throughout. And it really does time very well to introduce a lot of the major characters that will be important in this season. And we get the big Felicity Flame out then, or as the top of it. And just missing on top 3 at number 4, we have Living the Survivor Dream, which is the finale of Survivor 45. Generally, I think the reason why this is high up, honestly, is that 2-1-1-1 vote. Of course, the argument times after that, obviously, Jake actually destroying the challenge and being disqualified and actually getting a win at the 5 minute challenge, but actually they end up manning because they didn't get votes. And the D. Austin thing ended up being a lot closer than you expected, honestly, and it ended up being just really interesting in what's going to happen on that front. But then we get that 2-1-1-1, which is one of the most insane rounds of gameplay ever on Survivor, where basically everyone's on their own agenda. When it basically D won over Tura, Tura and Jake went over D, Austin over Julie, Julie went over Jake. Jake actually wanted to finally make that big move and actually basically decide to play his on Katura. But he didn't tell Katura that. Just she wanted her actually to be genuine. But she, out of panic and fear, she basically switched her vote to Julie the last second. Which caused Julie to give her a 2-1-1-1 votes. And again, despite the fact that he is honestly one of the best players of all time, she definitely would have gotten voted out in this round. She definitely would have gotten in this round, obviously. She didn't actually decide to vote for her, or, it actually ended up working on it, which is kind of shocking if you really think about it. No one really plays ball this round, so that's what made it so entertaining. Again, everything else, like I mentioned, with the Jake being Jake and the close vote between Dean and Austin, probably the first non-5, definitely the first non 7-1 vote we've gotten in the new era. Makes for a really incredible fan. In my opinion, again, the best finale we have gotten of the new era. Now, before we get to the actual top three, which I'm pretty sure you guys shouldn't figure out what the top three is, let's get into the honorable mentions, the episodes that were pretty great. They just did not make the actual list. And those episodes are Get That Money, Baby, episode 10 of 43, Show No Mercy, episode 4 of 43, basically the Lindsay Paranoid episode. This Game Rips Your Heart Out, episode 11 of Survivor 45. Following that Horse to Water, episode 8, the Kelly Blindside. What the hell, guys? Honestly, if it wasn't for the disappointing auction, that episode actually probably wouldn't have made the list, honestly. The House Party is Over, episode 4 of Survivor 48. Basically, the Thomas Blindside episode. Icarus Time, episode 12 of 48. Definitely one of the only good episodes of the post match of 48. It all comes down to this, the finale of Survivor 42. Go for the gusto, episode 3 of 42, the Jenny Blindside episode. Baby with a Machine Gun, episode 10 of 41. Really the only 41 episode to actually that probably would make the list, honestly. 41, I think, is the worst New Year season. And then lastly, and no, you got Full Tilt Bergie from 44. Yeah, the only 44 episode that would also make the list, honestly. The only one I don't think honestly really has contention on making this list, honestly. But yeah, those are the honorable mentions. But now we get to the top three, which again are probably the most obvious best episodes of the New Year. So, and these episodes are just not only fantastic episodes, but probably some of the best episodes that we got out of Survivor, and these are truly fantastic episodes of the show. With number 3 being the best episode 47, Operation Italy. Which again, it's an iconic episode where a plan ended up going out so grand, so amazing. It's exciting to see how they went with it, honestly. With the end up having certain things have to be right, certain things have to be good for it to work. But they did, and blindsided the biggest threat in Carolina, one of the most epic blindsides that we have gotten out of the new era. And then number 2, we got Telenovia being another epic blindside with Jesse blindsiding his ally Cody. Again, certain things have to be precise for it to work, but it somehow did with Jesse plays off of Owen, which spooked Carla so much she basically played her idol. And then it led to by 4000 Jesse Cody being voted out, with Jesse affecting him and the emotion, the swelling music that happens. Like, oh man, it's really touching, honestly, and just one of the most brutal blindsides that we have gotten. Really, this man Jesse isn't really one of the best players of the new era. It's still such a shame he didn't make it to 50, honestly. I'm still hoping to see Jesse again at some point. And then we get to the best episode of the new era, which I think should not come with any shot that's hide and seek. Episode 6 is 5. Again, I do plan on making 46 his own video somewhere down the road. But yeah, this is definitely the best episode of the new era, bar none. Honestly, which kind of makes stuff of 46 kind of frustrating, but again, I'll see it for the video. But it's still a highly entertaining episode with Q being Q, showcasing him as an all-time great character, again, playing hide and seek, again, like going back on plans, and the whole Tevin thing, honestly, and then Q basically trying to ask people to vote himself out, but he fails, honestly. And then Tevin gets blindsided anyways. So yeah, bar none, best episode of the new era, and one of the best episodes of Survivor, period. Well, guys, I hope you've been enjoying this Survivor series. I'm talking about my favorite episodes from certain portion. I hope you guys enjoyed talking about my favorite episodes of the new era. I would love to know down below in the comment section what are your favorite moments from the new era. What are your favorite episodes? Which ones did you enjoy the most? I would love to know down below in the comment section. And again, I do plan to do 2 more. I'm going to talk about my next one's going to be on my top 10 worst, and the next I'm going to talk about my top 10 or top 20. I'm still figuring one, but then and also when Survivor at the end, honestly, again, don't know when I'm going to get this out. I eventually do plan to, I'm going to plan to also do a ranking video where I rank every episode from Survivor 50. And then it's going to lead to the overall best one, honestly. But I hope you all been enjoying this series, honestly. I certainly have a fun time on more Survivor content. Let me know what Survivor content you guys want to see down below in the comment section. I would love to do that. I am Samuel World from Samuel Productions. I will see you guys next time, and as always, Stay cool about it, and here's a little sprinkle of positivity your way.